last night. I mean, I don't know. It looked like we might be calling this election tonight, but we got a lot to talk about on We the Parents, everybody. So listen up. I just wanted to get on a little bit early because we are going to be talking about a lot of different topics, a lot of information coming out as it relates to education. I'm going to take the first 15 minutes and just really update everybody on what's going on with the education stuff going on. Look like we're getting ready to get rolling with the schools opening. So I want to get everybody up to speed on that. And then after that, we are going to talk about this election. I mean, we're going to spend some time talking about, maybe it looked like some decision might get made tonight. Some might get called tonight, and, we may have a new president, or, we'll see. But I just want to know what you're feeling. I mean, how you feel about what's going on now? I mean, I'm going to make a short announcement about some concerns that I'm hearing about, potential issues that may happen as a potential violence that may take place as a result of, what's going on. So I'm gonna just read the warnings that I've been getting so that people are up to date on that and make sure you do what you gotta do to protect yourselves. And then we're gonna end the show tonight talking about, just giving an update on what's going on with a couple of issues that we've been dealing in the past, specifically what's going on with Health Science Charter School, and, their efforts to not get put up in the section AA or A?
They trying to move them up to AA.
They're trying to move them up to AA, and we trying to just deal with that issue. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of issues going on, not the least of which is the presidential election, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot going on. I hope you can join us. Tell your friends, get your friends to like us. Like it and just share this. What page is this playing on, man?
Your page.
I'm on my page. I don't see it.
That's your page.
Okay.
I'm sharing it right now.
Okay. Well, if you seeing me on my page, I don't see me.
Go to your profile.
I'm here.
Why?
Okay. There we go. Now we are. All right. You got to put some names on there or something. So, there we go. So we know. All right, everybody. All right, I'll be going on. I'll be starting the show in about a minute. And so if you can just bear with me. After a minute, I will be talking to everybody live.
All right, we'll be back, y'all.
No, I don't want to.
Oh, no, I got to transition to putting the thing in and everything.
So you hung up?
No, we still live. We still gonna be live.
Gotcha. Oh, we still live. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So what you say but what you mean by you be back?
I'm about to put the We the Parents thing on. Yeah. Because we about to start. That's why.
All right, everybody, we about to start. Don't go nowhere. Stay there. All right.
Amherst, Buffalo. We are the legendary Mix 1080 WUFO and Power 96.5. You know what time it is. It's 7 o'clock, and it's time for you to get informed and educated on what's going on in the Buffalo public school system with We Are the Parent with my man, Sam Bradford, on the all-new sound of Buffalo. It's Power 96.5 and Mix 1080 WUFO. Hey, what's up, D? I can't hear you, D. Where you at? There you go. All right. D, there you go, man. There I go. It's 6 o'clock. What up, D?
Hey, we are the parents.
We the Parents. Oh, that's right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another week of We the Parents at Power 96.5 WUFO. Listen up, Mix 1080. We are happy and honored to be able for you to be joining us this week. As we are every week, as we try to make sure that we are
Full service to this community by making sure that we have an ongoing conversation about our children. That's what this show is about. The show is dedicated to making sure that we have a vision, goals, plan, and actions for our children. Now, let me just say right up front on this show, everybody, that this is a talk-in show. This is a talk show. You know what I'm saying? It's a call-in show. You can call us if you want to join the discussion. And we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff tonight. You can call us at 837-1112, 837-1112. And Emmanuel, my co-host, how we doing over there, brother?
I'm good, everybody. I'm be monitoring the election And I'll also be seeing your comments. So if you have comments, questions, or you want to just tune in, let me know, and I'll be able to get them on the air.
All right, so we on Facebook on the Samuel Radford page. If you're listening, you
And
want to catch it on Facebook.
We're also on YouTube. If you want to go on YouTube, on the Samuel Radford YouTube page, you can go watch us there too.
All right, and we also share on the We the Parents Show page, and so you can also go to We the Parents Show, and you can see us in all those places. But here's the most important thing we want to do. We want to. There are a number of things that we got to talk about tonight, right? So let me just kind of put them in priority order, right? The number one thing is that it's We the Parents. We the Parents is a radio show, but it's also an organization. So what I want to do is I want to let everybody who's listening know if you would like to join We the Parents. And let me tell you why you would want to join We the Parents. If you are a person who have a child that go to a Buffalo public, private charter school, or you homeschool, or school anywhere in West New York, I've been a parent leader for over 30 years, and I'm telling you one of the most important things that you have to do as a parent leader is you have to be part of a group in order to make sure your parent rights are dealt with. I mean, I cannot tell you daily how many parents call me and feel like they're not being treated fairly, that they're getting a raw deal, that some kind of way that their child's word is not being taken over the teacher's word, or some kind of way they're being ignored by the principal or the Board of Education is not responsive because they go down there as an individual. Listen, if you're trying to advocate as an individual, you are dealing with institutions. The education, the Board of Education is an institution. The Buffalo Public Schools is an institution. You as an individual is not going to be able to impact it the same way an organization is going to be able to impact it. So what we have done here at We the Parents is what we're doing is we're making sure that whether your child goes to a public school or a charter school or a private school, or homeschool, that we know the laws. Our organization is made up of people who have been doing this, from as Brother Lloyd Hargrave, who's our advisor. He has been an active parent for over 50 years. I've been doing this for over 30 years. We got parents who just got here, this year. But we got an intergenerational conversation going. We got a whole wide range of knowledge. If you would like to join We the Parents, you'd like to be the parents. We are having our first membership meeting of this year on Tuesday, November, I believe that is November 17th. Tuesday, November 17th from 6 to 7. Tuesday, November 17th from 6 to 7:30. It is a Zoom call. So there are a number of ways. I may put something in the chat so where the people, if they want to get the link to the Zoom, they put your email or put your information on there, and we will send you the link to the Zoom because you have to have a password and all that to get in there. So we will send you the link to the Zoom. You can also call us at 837-1112, 837-1112. You can go to our website, calwny.org, and then put We the Parents, We-the-Parents. There's a lot of ways you can get in contact with us, but if you want to be part of the We the Parent organization, you want to be part of a group of people who are focused on three things. The first responsibility that we at We the Parents focus on is we make sure we represent the interests of our members. And we make sure that when one of our members have an issue, we go as a group. We're fighting in the best interest of all of our children. You know what I'm saying? So we're fighting for issues that relate to all of our children. But the main thing we want to do is make sure that every parent has a vision, has goals, have a plan for their children's education, and that we come up with a pathway for you to actually achieve that vision. So that's what we're here to do. We want to do that as a group. So that's the most important initial comment for the day. Please, if you want to join We the Parents, join us November 17th, 6 o'clock. It's a Zoom call. You want more information, call for 837. No, you call us at 837-1112 if you want to talk on the show, but call us at 332-3773. I may put it at the bottom of the screen. You can also get additional information that way. All right, the next thing we want to do is I want to remind everybody, you know what I'm saying, that we are still in COVID, and that if your child is at home, I mean, what people should be focusing in on getting their children into one of the community cares program? How would you characterize who needs to be there right now?
Everybody.
That's a good way to think about it, right?
Yeah, I believe my wife's an educator, my mom's an educator, so I kind of see this stuff firsthand. And my wife teaches kindergarten, and she tells me all the time how some of the children would benefit from being at a place where they could have more hands-on supervision, because it's hard to keep their attention. So when you have more hands-on supervision, you can learn more. And because COVID and because we all have to learn remotely, we need as much help as we can get. So for a program like this to be existing and it's not filling out the doors is an issue because everybody should be there.
So that means if you right now, your child's at home and they're unsupervised, up to 8th grade and they're unsupervised, or if your child's at home and you're not able to provide them the support that you want to provide them, if your child's at home and they're falling behind, there are resources available for your child not to fall behind. We want to make sure we empower parents with information that you can use that will, make a difference in terms of the outcomes you're getting with your children academically. So if you want to, somebody who meet that, their children are falling behind, they need additional support, go to ccpbuffalo.org. That's the Community Cares Program Buffalo.org. And they have sites all over the city for you to be able to, send your children to. So just as an example, Mount Olive is right here at 701 East. You can take your children to Mount Olive. Mount Olive, you can take them to Renovation Church on website. Here's what you get. Every day, 5 days a week, from 7:30 to 4:30, you can bring your children. You can drop them off there, or your children can walk there. You can bring your children there, and they will get breakfast, they will get lunch, and they will get dinner. And they will have somebody supervising them while they're online doing their remote instruction. That is a resource that we cannot take for granted. And I know there are parents out there whose children are falling behind because they're not logging on. And if you had additional support, it will make the difference. So I'm asking every parent, if you know a parent who is in that situation, please take advantage of this program. There's even more programs in the CCP Buffalo one. There's programs through Say Yes to Education. So you can go to sayyesToEducation.org, and they have additional sites. There are sites at the CAO. The CAO has sites at the Pratt Willard Center, the Edward Saunders Center, the JFK Center. So there are sites all through our community. But with the work they're doing at CCP Buffalo is really special work. And so we really, really want to encourage parents who children need additional support to get that additional support. All right. Anything you want to add to that, Emma, before we move on?
No, just get there, man. It's needed, and you don't want to be having your child fall behind because of your negligence. So just get out there and do it.
All right. And this is especially if you got little kids. That's really where our challenge is at, everybody. If you got young children who are falling behind right now, they didn't even have a device. They just now getting a device for all the little kids. If kids are not learning how to read between kindergarten and second grade, when they get to third grade, they read to learn. Between kindergarten and second grade, you have to learn how to read. So if your child has fell behind, it's going to be hard to catch them up, so you got to be on top of that. All right, so ccpbuffalo.org. Next thing, all right, I'm just trying to do the updates first before we get the news. For those who want to want to talk about what's going on with this election, we are going to be talking about what's going on in the election. If you're listening to us, call us at 837-1112, 837-1112. Let's talk about this presidential election, what's going on with it, what you think, is it going to get called tonight? Are you concerned about some of the threats of violence that are going on? Do you think Trump still got a chance, or is it pretty clear that, this is going to happen in the next day or two? What's going to be Trump's reaction if he loses? I mean, whatever
Trump is coming on at 6:30.
Okay, so he'll be on in 20 minutes. So I hope you listen to us, but either way it go, whatever your thoughts are. This show we assumed last week that we were going to have a new president today. We don't have a new president, so we'll talk about the possibility of a new president. But the phone lines are open: 837-1112, 837-1112, or you can call us, or you can respond to us on Facebook. All right, so. The next issue, the update I want to have is here's what we've all been waiting for. Everybody know that all the school districts of West New York have opened up for hybrid with and their children are going to school in every school district in West New York except Buffalo. Buffalo is still fully remote. Still fully remote. So, obviously, I've been watching school board meetings, and I've seen our elected school board members really pushing, letting the superintendent know that some parents want their kids to go to school. They want to plan on when they're opening schools. I also heard the superintendent responding that he works for the school board. You know what I'm saying? So if the school board tell him to open a school, he'll get them schools open. So if you somebody who want to see the schools open, you better make sure your school board members know, so they can begin to move on that, because the superintendent he clearly has. I'm telling you what he said. He has an advisory board that's giving him the information on the science. About whether it's safe to open or not. But he also did a survey of over 3,000 parents, and he said over 65% of those parents said they would not send their children to school, which says there's a 35% who would. You know what I'm saying? So, but the school board members made it clear to him that they thought that was an issue. That parents wanted their children to go to school. So here we go. Here's the new information. Superintendent announced yesterday that they are ready to start sending kids back to school. And so that can happen in the next 10 days, really, before Thanksgiving. They are going to phase kids in, though. They're going to try to take, between 50 and 100 kids per school at first. And those children will be the children most in need, all right? So English language learners, special education, children who have fallen behind. Those schools, so you got to work with your school. Every school have their own reopening plan. There's not one district-wide reopening plan. There's, every school, submitted this plan. There was some, superintendent, I think he lifted up East and a couple other schools as model plans. But so if your child, if you want to go back to school, you want your child to go back to school, the superintendent is ready for that. Get in contact with your school, find out what's going on, because that process is beginning. All right, now here's the big deal. This is what I thought was extremely good. The superintendent said, for the students who need it, they are not going to be in school hybrid. They are going to be in school 5 days a week. You know what I'm saying? 5 days a week, which I thought was, what you think about that, man? You think that's the way to go, or you think, the hybrid would be?
I believe that if you can safely bring kids to school, especially the ones that need it, they need to be in school 5 days a week. Because since March of last year, we have enough data to see who needs to be in school and who doesn't. So if they need to be in school, they just need to be in school.
And that's where the superintendent is at. And I thought that was commendable. So that's where we at. So that's on you now, parents. You need to be working with your school. The other issue that came up, I'm sure kids, what you think about. It was really refreshing. They got at the school board, they got a new student rep on the school board. I think her name is Tammy Walker. But she's a new student rep, very smart, articulate young lady. She's a senior from Burgard, really active in the community. It was really impressive watching her on a school board meeting. But she said that she is really concerned about the seniors. She said seniors right now feel like they're not getting advice from counselors about how to fill out applications, about how to apply for colleges, and it's just kind of a hands-off thing. And she's concerned that the seniors are at risk right now.
Oh no, that is amazingly true. Like I'm talking from experience. If it wasn't for my family, getting into college would have been hard because my counselors were not active with me. So, and that's in school. So I can only imagine what it's like to not be able to go see your counselor, talk about college applications, talk about the processes you need, what the deadlines you got to have. Because when you submit in college applications, deadlines are important. Your essays, what you write, your letters of recommendation, being able to organize all that is very time stringent. So if you don't have people in your corner telling you this got to be due then, this got to be done then, you can really fall behind, and it can stop you from getting to college sometimes. If you're part of the EOP program, you got to do different things than you got to do if you're just going to college regularly. If you're sending your college application off out of town, you got to send it a little bit sooner. So then sometimes going over your essay. So you need that hands-on thing, teaching with counselors, and it's important.
And so, this is really critical. If you're a parent and you got a senior in high school, you're going to have to be on top of it. Or if you're a senior and you're listening, you're going to have to be on top of this. The good side, I think you have a great student rep from Burgard who did a great job articulating the need to get more resources and more support for for seniors. But what it's going to come down to is, the squeaky wheel get the oil. You got to say what you need. If your needs are not being met, it's too many opportunities for seniors in this school district. Too many opportunities for you to be saying, well, it's COVID, and it's hard to keep up. This is not the time for that. I mean, right now it's more important than ever that we focus. And to the superintendent's credit, he did say that even though a lot of the research is saying don't send the high schoolers back. A lot of the research is saying bring the little kids back, and then bring that. Matter of fact, the high schoolers may not even need to come back at all. And maybe the high schoolers, you can bring back last or next year. The superintendent said he wasn't going to do that. He said they were going to start bringing back some of the seniors. In particular, he said if you were a senior, if you were behind on credits. And you need to catch up on credits, you can come. They're going to bring you back in that first crew, or if you just needed additional support. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of, or special education students. So students who need additional support. Hear me, everybody. Buffalo Public Schools is reopening. I don't know how to scream it any louder. Buffalo Public Schools are reopening, and you got to kind of you got to make the switch now. You know what I'm saying? We've been in COVID, since March. I mean, think about that. I mean, people haven't been in school since March. This is November. You know what I'm saying? It's been 8 months since people went to school regularly. So you got to shake out of it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else been going back to school already. They've been going hybrid. Excuse me. They've been going hybrid, or they, been going to school every day. Buffalo Public Schools are getting ready to go back to school. Get ready. Get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? Get focused on the things you are going to need to make sure we have as many children as possible going back to school. So that's the next piece of information. I mean, I think it's critical that people understand that transition has been made. You know what I'm saying? So if you got any questions about what's going on with Buffalo Public Schools, you got any questions about, what's happening with reopening, let me just say this because I thought it was a really important part of the discussion that took place. There is concerns. There are concerns. I see a question, Brother Kamal asks, is it safe? Now, here's the question. This is really, an interesting point. You know what I'm saying? I feel real passionate about this. So before I'm going to let Emmanuel give his perspective on it, before I give mine, because when people ask that question, I want to know what they're really asking me. So Emmanuel, do you think it's safe to ship parents send their kids back to school?
If you're comfortable, yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, one of the things we've always said is we just want the parent to have the choice. I believe as a parent, you have to decide that. COVID is real, and I'm not saying it's not, but you got to decide whether you're comfortable sending your kids to school or not. Like, you got to decide whether you're comfortable going to work or not. It's the same decision making. So, if you're comfortable as a parent sending your kids to school, you should have the option too. And that's just what I think.
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, I get that point. It should be it is everybody's personal choice. Obviously, if you don't think it's safe, you ain't got to send your children to school. But I think what has to happen first and foremost is that it has to be an option. Parents should have the option on whether they send their kids to school or not. And then we should take on the responsibility of making it safe. I mean, that's what we pay people for. How do we come up with the protocols to make it safe? I mean, you can't say it's not safe, so we're not gonna do anything. Especially, listen up, everybody. Everybody else is going to school. You get my point? We can't sit around and everybody else is saying they went to school in the same conditions as we, and then when it got unsafe, they stopped for a period of time and then they go back. So if it's unsafe, okay, let's deal with making it safe. And then if something happened where we need to quarantine for a while, let's quarantine. But we can't just freeze and let our kids strictly be in remote indefinitely and watch them falling further and further behind. I don't hear nobody saying our kids are getting a better education in remote instruction. You know what I'm saying? That's just the bottom line. Now, there's some kids who do better in remote instruction. But by and large, that's not all the kids. And then, let's be real. Even when we were in school, our kids wasn't doing great in school. So now with remote instruction, they've fallen further behind. We have to me, wrestle. We have to wrestle with this idea that, we have to make it safe. I mean, we can't just stay there. The teachers. The teachers will be there. Obviously, the teachers come back. Some teachers are there now. So the teachers are all. The superintendent said in exact words, if the Board of Education say start school tomorrow, he ready to go. You know what I'm saying? The Buffalo Public Schools are ready to go. Teachers are ready to go teach. Now, having said that, and I think this is important because this was a big discussion at the school board meeting, right? People are concerned about how decisions are being made. You know, I heard parents, I heard the Buffalo Teachers Federation feel like that it has not been a collaborative process. The superintendent is arguing that there have been more reopening meetings in Buffalo than anywhere in the country. Parents that I'm hearing talking about it and teachers are saying that they may have these meetings where they listen, but they ain't acting on what parents' concerns are. Nothing's changing based on what parents are saying. So they just basically going through the motions. So I think right now it's critical that we put ourselves in a position to where we work together and we listen to each other. You know, I mean, anybody who's serious about leadership understands that one of the most important people to listen to is the people who disagree with you. Mm-hmm. You say, why are you saying to that? You know what I'm saying? Why would you listen to people that disagree with you?
It makes for a more well-rounded discussion and make for a more well-rounded solution.
Yeah, when you gotta solve a problem, you know what I'm saying? You want to find out the people who are in opposition to the problem, what is their opposition based on, so we have them part of the solution. This is a really important point. I mean, tell me if you disagree with this. People are saying right now that this country is more divided than it's ever been in its history, right? They saying this division is a danger. Do you agree that this country is dangerously divided as a country right now?
No. I don't think it's dangerously divided. I think what you just said is what has to happen. It's interesting. I was watching CNN this morning, and they said that the issue that most people take is that when somebody disagrees with you, you don't want to listen to them. And so that the country may seem divided, but if we just stopped and listened to each other and figured out what we all disagreed about, we can come to better solutions. So I don't think it's divided. I just think we don't listen to each other because we're on opposite sides of the aisle. And I think that's where the division comes from, but it's not really division. It's just none of us is listening.
I believe that, Sue. Get ready to read Daphne's question that she just asked, and we can talk about it first. And I see you, Daphne. We're getting ready to respond to your question right now. I agree with your point, Emmanuel. Is the division that you could call it we're the most divided that we ever been, but you can also say divided. Another way to say divided is balanced. Everybody don't agree. We got two opposing sides that see things differently. So balance could be a good thing. Balance can be if both sides respect each other's position and get at why they had that position. Because two people with different experiences, you can't see it from our perspective if you don't have my experience. I can't see it from your perspective without your experience. It's a reason why a person sees things the way they see them. Yeah. And unless you listen to them, you can't find that out.
And I just want to add this. I heard this, and I've been repeating this since I heard it. It was a TV show, and a lady said on the TV show, the reason why people fight wars is because both sides feel like they're the good guy. So if we just stop, the person who's opposing you has to have some foundational feeling that makes them feel like they're right. So if you listen to it and you state your position, it's easier to come to a solution. We can't get into this place where because we disagree with each other, we don't listen to each other.
And that's where we at. I mean, I think America's at a crossroads right now. I mean, this election is we got us right there square in that space where either we're going to figure this out and figure out how we all going to live together, to make this a more perfect union, or this thing is about to go into another civil war because people are so locked into their position that they're not listening to why people have a different position to them.
Yeah, and Daphne says we must make it safe for all, and going into a death trap in the ventilation system in all school along with screens on all the windows. The NFTA bus, all high school students and many students will be late because the capacity of these buses will fill up quickly.
Okay, Daphne, you make a really good point. So if those are the challenges, how do we create solutions for that? You can't say that that's a challenge and so we can't go to school. You say, okay, one of the things we got to do is upgrade the ventilation system. So let's go. Let's make the investment to upgrade the ventilation system to make it safe for our children. If the issue that we're going to have is that you need screens on all the windows, okay. Let's make the investment. Let's get the screens on all the windows. We can't say because we need screens on all the windows, we're not going to send our kids to school. When everybody else is sending their kids to school. I don't know how else to say this. You know what I'm saying? People are using their resources to get what they need to move forward. The NFT bus, if we need to come up with more buses or come up with a situation to deal with the bus situation, we have to create solutions to ensure that our kids are continuing to progress.
Yes, we have. Daphne McNabb made another comment. She said, yes, it is dangerously divided more than ever before. We are tired of the nonsense of not obtaining justice for our community.
Oh, Daphne, you right up my alley right now. That's where I'm at. I mean, one of the things I love about being on this show with Emmanuel and Duncan and Amir, the generation that's coming up next, is because in this generation, that to get along spirit is not. They don't got that spirit. This generation, you see it in the street right now. They calling people out on their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's more important than ever to have this conversation right now. You know what I'm saying? It's people, listen up everybody, we're going to talk about this in a few minutes. Have y'all seen the election map? I hope y'all have, because look at who voted for who and where they live at. You know what I'm saying? What did you see when you looked at the election map, Emmanuel?
I looked, first of all, the whole election map, you need to look at it. But don't look at just the map. Click on it. And go look at the communities and the states and the communities and the cities and who voted for who. If you look at the New York State map, it is not a mistake that only the urban areas are blue. Everywhere else around the urban areas in New York State are red. There was a comment made that if it was not for the 5 boroughs being so heavily populated with blue, New York would have went red. That was the comment.
Listen up, everybody. This is real talk. We in Buffalo better pay attention to the map. You know what I'm saying? And we better be talking about how we going to have this conversation because we are surrounded by red. All around us is red. You know what I'm saying? Don't have no illusions about where we at. So the question is, who you think those police officers are? Who you think those teachers are? Who you think those people coming into providing social services in our community are? Who you think they are? These are people who have a different perspective, a different view. They are clearly Trump supporters and a high concentration of Biden supporters in the city. So if we don't have a conversation, you know what I'm saying, about justice and make it clear, there ain't no way that ideation that says that we got to go back to something that was not socially just, that's not going to ride. That's not going to happen. People are going to stand up for that. But now, this is the place we are in. This is why we have to listen to each other. Because we're in them school buildings together. We walking through these neighborhoods together. We all the things that we doing where people come into the city, provide services and leave back out. We have this mixture of people who have differing views that if we don't find a way to listen to each other, it's gonna be. Have you read the circulation of what is going on? I got this.
Real quick, let me get these comments real quick.
Go
Our brother Kamal says Fox News and Trump are promoting lies and truth. We should base our decisions on truth. Daphne McNabb says, please understand that warring is about economics. Brother Kamal said truth is real. Daphne said we may need to bring up the old NFTA buses specifically for high school. In voter suppression, establish universal automatic voter registration.
Well, slow down, because I want to deal with all these. So let me do this. Let's deal with one of them. Let's deal with the NFTA bus, just because that's an education issue. Let's deal with that first, all right? So, Daphne, listen. Here's one of the challenges we have. Squeaky wheel, get the oil. Squeaky wheel, get the oil. Squeaky wheel, get the oil. Bottom line is that the people who make decisions about what's happening in NFTA don't ride the bus. So if the people who are riding the bus are not weighing in on the conversation, ain't no changes going to be made. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure those people who are going to be on the bus is communicating to people, to the NFTA Board of Commissioners, and we have a commissioner rep on there. You know what I'm saying? Find out who our commissioner rep is on the board of, on the NFTA commission, right? Who we got to get information to about what we need to be doing as it relates to the NFTA. That is important. You know what I'm saying? So if the NFTA is an issue, we also got a committee of the District Parent Coordinating Council who deals with the issue of transportation. So the DPCC have a meeting on this Tuesday. Tuesday coming up, I think that's November 10th, 6 p.m. Go to Buffalo DPCC on Facebook, and you can get the link to the DPCC meeting.
The Board of Commissioners?
Yeah, the NFTA commissioners, yeah.
Yeah, I see all the commissioners.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Is who's the African-American one from our community? Who it is?
There's a lot of them, though.
Oh, really?
We have a lot of.
All right, so name, just throw some names out.
Levon Ansari.
Yeah, there you go. Dr. Levon Ansari. Mark Blue from the NAACP. Those are people from our community who are sitting on the NFTA commission. You got information. Make sure you're talking to them. You know, get them involved in the conversation.
Somebody guest was on our show, Stephen Tucker.
Oh, yeah, Stephen Tucker. That's right. He's been on the show. He's with the North End. All right, so that's the NFTA question. What was the next issue she raised?
Let me go back to it. I'm sorry. I was
All
trying
right,
to
so my point is, I hear where you coming from, Daphne. There's something we can do to address that.
Okay, here we go. The majority of these people teach in our district and who do not reside in our community and teach our children. Just imagine how our children feel.
That's our reality right now. You know what I'm saying? That is our reality right now. I mean, we can't pretend like that's not the case. That's the reason why I'm saying we have to be dialoguing with each other. Until that changes, and that ain't gonna change no time in the foreseeable future. I mean, I think there are a lot of things going on to increase the number of teachers of color in our school district. I mean, it has gone up. It was down to 5%. 3 or 4 years ago, it got down to 5%. It's up to 15% now. So you can't say Dr. Cash has, put a dent in that. It's moving in the right direction. But there was a time where it was as high as 40%. I mean, we have really took a step back in terms of the people from our community who teach our children. We got to address it, but in the short term, that it is what it is. We got to make sure we're having a dialogue to make sure that you can't pretend like the majority of people who are coming to our community are not Trump supporters when you look at the election map. That's what they are. So what do you think is getting ready to happen? If they announce tonight Joe Biden becomes the president, I'm curious. 837-1112. What's going to happen? Tell me what you think is going to happen if they announce that tonight. You think Trump supporters are going to be happy? You know what I'm saying? What do you think is going to happen? You know what I'm saying? What's going to be the situation? And then the question is, are we ready for that? Because if we don't deal with this deep division and the consequences of this deep division in our community, the reality is it ain't gonna do nothing. Gonna get worse. Do you think we ready as a community for what? What do you think gonna happen if they announce Trump to if they say Joe Biden is president? Pennsylvania go for him tonight because that's all that need to happen. Pennsylvania go for him tonight. That's it.
Yeah. I want to believe that it's going to be peaceful and that people are just going to accept the loss. But I would not be surprised if there's rioting, if there's things, there's random acts of violence that happens, because one of the things that Donald Trump has done is all those, like, before he became president, all those people who were called like closet racist,
right,
all those people were able to maintain that because nobody made it cool. Donald Trump become president, they out that closet now, and they not going back in. So we got to deal with them in the reality that the people who we used to think was cool, their true colors have come out, and we have to deal with them with their true colors.
Okay, y'all. So now I got a caller on the line. I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to let the caller go on, right? Because I got a text that says, we need to put this message out ASAP. The NAACP has received credible information that some white nationalist group, neo-Nazis, and white supremacist group have initiations happening this weekend. As part of this initiation, it is said that they will be looking to snatch black men and boys and hang them, shoot them, torture them, and kill them. So please spread the word. Do not let your sons go out alone. Pay attention to your surroundings. If you made friends with someone recently, do not be gullible and naive. They may have another motive. Be cautious, stay prayed up, only travel in pairs. Even then, pay attention. If your car is hit by a truck or a van, don't be quick to jump out. Pay attention. Women also be alert. The rumor is that they will seek men, but we know that at some point anyone will do. Be careful, pass this on. Listen, I mean, that's the information that's going out. I mean, and when you look at them folks banging on there, stop the vote, you know what I'm saying? That's an indication that if this thing go another way, and don't pretend like we ain't seen the militia groups planning to, kidnap a governor, you know what I'm saying, and try her. Don't act like that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Caller, are you there? Okay, wait. I can't hear. Hold on, caller. All right, go ahead, caller. Yep.
And they run the Police Benevolent Association and everything else around this country. The Hispanics came, the Mexicans came. They run black community, the only community that has not dominated the police force to protect themselves and their people. And we have to push our children and our young people from law enforcement officers at every level and also to get a part of that Police Benevolent Association and so protecting policemen all around the country.
Well, hold that question, right?
Black people voted for Trump, especially black men.
Well, hold that part, right? Because I want to talk about that, but I want to talk about that separately, right? But first of all, I love the fact that you call with a solution, right? Because that is right. We have to police ourselves. You can't keep complaining that people are shooting your sons if we ain't willing to get the jobs and police ourselves, right? If they shooting our sons because they scared of them, only people that ain't gonna be scared of us is us. We have to go out and get them jobs. The mayor has made more opportunities for you to become a police officer in Buffalo than there ever has been in the history of Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. People, I hope people listening to you. That is part of the solution. Now, you want to say something about who were the people that voted for Trump? Go ahead.
The majority of black men voted for Trump less than last time in 2016.
Right.
White women voted for Trump less.
That's
Black
right.
men voted more, black females voted more, and Hispanics went out of their way to bend over backwards to denounce their Hispanic heritage. One, I'm tired of people stop saying black and brown. Their fight is not my fight. They go from brown to beige to white. I'm black, I'm gonna stay black. So stop making brown people part of the black people's fight. And it should have never been called civil rights. It should have been called black rights because I'm tired. My ancestors, I have a direct ancestor that chose not to came for the movement, who laid down their lives to fight for civil rights, should have been black rights. And Amanda Andrew Young and the rest of them did that. So everybody else of color can walk on our backs and treat us just as bad as white people. And in terms of the schooling, there is something, a solution to that.
can't hear the
We need
call.
to go to the superintendent and go over every department head and say, hey, who's in charge of hiring? I have friends now that in the South, I just came back, because they would not hire us in Buffalo. Why? Because your hiring department is white. The three families that run the city of Buffalo, do your history on who is the actual real people running the Buffalo Board of Education.
Well, you know what?
The reason why the Italians and the Irish, they made a pact. They moved the Jews out of the way. They made a pact.
So-
That's why everybody is related. They made a pact, and it's a historical pact and document.
Well, let me say a couple, caller, you dropping some knowledge here now, right? Let me just say a couple things, right? You said a lot there, right? So let me just kind of deal with some of it. But you're right. Let's not pretend like there are not groups inside of Buffalo Public School that protect their interests. I graduated from Hutch Tech High School. Go look at the history of Hutch Tech High School. Until 2-3 years ago, every principal at Hutch Tech High School was an Italian male. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get deeper than that. The pact that was made for the Jews before desegregation, because the Jews treated the Irish and the Italians worse than they treated blacks. Okay, so there was a pact made for the Irish and the Italians. This is on paper. That they would never let anybody run the district and treat them the way that they were treated before. That's why all the Jews are out in the suburbs teaching, and will not let the teachers that are Irish and that are Italian come out to the suburbs and teach.
So let's go back, but let's go back to you. And I feel you.
Hire me before they hire a white person from the city.
And I feel you. I want to go back to the point you were making. First of all, let's keep it to the vote, right? That's an interesting point that African American males, you know what I'm saying, doubled in terms of their support for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Now, how that's in their best interest, I can't figure that out. But listen, I've heard that commercial that Trump put out about what was the commercial related to?
When
The 94 crime bill?
When Biden got on there, and basically called black men criminals.
Super predators, right? Listen, listen, wait.
Has a lot of bravado.
Listen to me.
Black men
I'm not.
act like he has bravado.
I'm not even remotely saying that's a justification. I'm just telling you what people are saying brought about some of these things. I'm saying it to back up your point that we got to start thinking about things in our own interest and how it's going to impact our overall community. Because one of our biggest challenges is if one or two of us make it, we start acting like all of us made it. And if we don't think about if all of us don't fight for all of us all of the time, what happens is we get a couple people who's successful and we keep pointing to them as if that works for everybody. And you're right.
Nobody knows how to pass a curve. So basically, and I've changed the lingo for legal purposes. Pass the curve is basically when you're fighting for our rights, we take care of you just like Dr. King. We take care of those people who are fighting for us. We pay their bills. We pay their legal fees. We have our own private legal defense fund. Johnny Cochran was part of that private legal defense fund. That's why he was paid to defend the Panthers all the time.
Caller,
We take care of those people.
That is a great point.
Those people, we don't have to worry about sellouts because the sellouts we have in the community who are selling us out are the ones who are supposed to be bringing us along and feeding us information.
Oh,
If we don't take care of the people who are fighting for us and provide information and pay for their housing, pay for their bills, pay for their expenses, then they're starving out.
because the U.S. military, we pay for that, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you don't take care of the people that's defending you, caller, listen, we appreciate your call. Thank you for listening. Continue to listen to We the Parents. You know, one of the points that the caller made that I think is critical that we got to keep this conversation about, right, on some level, is we do got to distinguish the fact that that African Americans are in a unique situation. You know what I'm saying? We are not in the same situation as other minority groups. You know what I'm saying? We came here against our will. And there are things that have to be done in that context, like reparations, that we got to keep in the conversation. We can't keep pretending like the situation's the same for everybody.
No, yeah, I'm just monitoring the presidential stuff. Biden has pulled within the 0.1% of Trump in Pennsylvania.
So what's that in terms of numbers?
49.9 to 49.8.
Okay, so I mean, how many votes are?
Okay, when they bring it back up, I got you.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna talk about. So listen up, everybody. This might happen tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the reason why we're having this conversation. We're saying that this election, you know, one way or other, is. Listen up, everybody. I want you to deal with this, y'all. You know, 65 million people voted for Donald Trump. More than ever in the history of any other president. Only person that got more votes than that was Joe Biden in this election because 68 million people voted for him. You know what I'm saying? So we can't.
72 voted for Joe Biden.
Oh, 72 million now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So far, it ain't over yet.
It ain't
You know what I'm
over
saying?
yet.
When I got the last number was so. But my point is, first of all, yay. You know what I'm saying? We have more people who are participated in this election than ever in the history of the country. But remember, everybody. All these police reforms that we seeing, all this change in social justice we seeing, that didn't happen because of an election. That's happened because people got out in the street and they demanded change. So this ain't the election is part of it, but we gotta back this election up by making sure we are demanding change. That's really what it comes. We have to, without a question or a doubt, be involved in bringing about the change that we want to be bringing about. And election, our vote is one part of it. It ain't the whole thing, all right? So if you got some thoughts about, you know, what's going to happen when they announce one way or the other, what's going to happen if they announce Trump? And I don't see how right now, right? But you listen, I didn't see how last time, right?
No,
You know?
and part of this, we got to be real with ourselves. We seen last time. Because if you go look at the election map for Hillary dropped the ball. We have to just acknowledge that if you paid attention, Trump slaughtered Hillary in the places that she should have won.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth of the matter.
Matter of fact, the conversation we're having right now is about Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Those three by themselves will give Biden the election. He already got Wisconsin and Michigan, and now if Pennsylvania is over, if Pennsylvania get called, it's over. So which he lost, he won. Which Obama won. You know what I'm saying? It's over. But the point is, you're right. You know what I'm saying? To a lot of ways, it was a race that was lost versus a race that was won as much as it was won. But come on, everybody. Look at what we've been listening to coming out of the White House for the past 4 years. I mean, let's think about that in real terms. If another 4 years is given, do you think as a community we will rise up and continue to progress towards social justice? Or is that going to give license to people who have been trying to keep it the way it was to come out? Because again, everybody, let's not forget, all around us, all in West New York, go look at the map. 65 million people believed that Trump was doing something good for somebody. You was gonna say something? Go. I can see the look on your face. I know what's going on. Okay. No. You ain't even seeing it full. It ain't about that. Because he got 65 million supporters. He's saying, even if he loses at this point, he's going to create the Trump network, you know what I'm saying? And they're saying that he will be the most influential ex-president in history because he's trying to lead a movement. You know what I'm saying? So even if he loses, he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He gonna do what he can do while he still got that position. You know what I'm saying? But the question becomes, those of us who see it differently, though all that 72 million plus Biden supporters, because sometimes you know what happens. We elect people and we go to sleep. Okay, we got them in, we done. The election is just the beginning of the process. After you elect him, then what? Do we have an agenda that he has to implement? Because there's no way Biden would be in the position he is without the black vote. Yes, Obama. Oh, okay. Accountable. Tom Joyner fired him for that? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, for doing commentary. Yeah, that's right. Defense. Okay. Period. And because, listen up, everybody, people were making there's going to be this big blue wave, and because Trump was at the ticket, on the top of the ticket, it was going to cost everybody below the ticket. Now what happened? They kept the Senate. As of right now, depending on what happened in Georgia, that means Trump helped all the people that was on the ticket below him. He carried the people through. Those people can't come out across Trump now, because even if he lose, he still got the other Republicans in there. You know what I'm saying? So the question becomes, what are we going to do now that this is all out in the open? I mean, the question is, are we going to sit down and really come up with a way that we're going to work to deal with how we make a more perfect union, or are we going to civil war? Here's what I feel about that, right? I hear that, right? But you know what? I almost rather, if you feel that way, I'd rather you say it. I'd rather you feel comfortable saying it. What I don't like is you feel that way, but you won't say it. So I don't got no problem with all the Trump supporters surrounding us, because he set them off right now. I see Brother Neil just posted that he on TV right now saying he been cheated.
I'm listening to him
right now. He's saying that he been cheated. Now, here's the president. You know what I'm saying? They giving this man the mic to basically tell people, I've been cheated. He did a tweet today that said, stop the count. How did the president of the United States put out a tweet that says, stop the count? What do you mean, stop the count? I mean, at this point, if we stop the count, you lose. He knows it's inevitable, so that's almost like giving his people the signal. Do what you got to do. Go line up in front of them buildings. So, listen. So I'm saying, as a community, we have to be in a position where we're having a real conversation about this. We cannot have our heads stuck in the sand right now. We have to think about what are the implications of what's going on around us. He ain't saying he cheated. Why do you think he's saying he cheated? Why you think he on national TV with the national bully pulpit talk about they stealing an election from him? Why do you think he's doing that?
He trying to make it clear that if he lose, it wasn't fair. So everybody who follow me and support me, it's not fair. It's okay to do what you want to do.
No if, ands, or buts about it, y'all. That's the reason why we have to be vigilant. We have to be vigilant right now, because those supporters. Matter of fact, I mean, you said you was driving to Letchworth. What did you see?
Yeah, so I took my wife to Letchworth State Park, which is beautiful, by the way, just if anybody want to go there. But in the car with her, I told her I had never in my life seen that many Trump signs. And it's not just signs. It's flags on the back of their car. It's flags on the side of their houses. It's snowmen with "We Love Donald Trump" on it. And I told my wife, I said, they're telling you when you drive through this city, wherever you coming from, know where you at.
That's right. You in Trump country. Listen, I was in the United States Marine Corps. I understand what it means when somebody plant their flag. You know what I'm saying? When you conquer a territory, you plant your flag so everybody else coming through that territory know this mine now. You know what I'm saying? So when they putting up them flags, they communicating something. You know what I'm saying?
And the crazy thing is, and I'm tired of seeing people on Facebook talk about, what do you expect these people to do if Trump lose? You think they're gonna go back into hiding? What's gonna? They're not gonna go back to hiding because they're here now, and we have to figure out how to deal with it.
Period. And Trump is not gonna go back into hiding. He got 65 million plus votes. That's more votes than Obama got. You know what the significance? That's real community. You know what I'm saying? So we as a community gotta be in a real conversation about the reality that we are in. Because we're in a whole nother reality right now. You know what I'm saying? So now the question is it gonna be doubled down on? And I think, first of all, the first phase of defense has already happened. Because we have come out like we've never have to vote to make sure that he didn't. Because think about if people would have not had the level of voting that we had. Think about the NBA folks and NFL folks, all those folks that got invested. Think about that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
We would not even be having. Think the election day vote for him was records. They broke records on election day walk-in votes.
And if you were paying attention leading up to election week, that was their plan all along. Their plan all along was let everybody else early vote, let everybody else do their absentee votes, because on election day, we're going to show up and show out, and that's how we're going to win an election, because nobody predicted this turnout for Trump, because they thought he was just going to keep what he already had. Yeah. But that was the plan all along.
Matter of fact, think about this in real terms. Y'all remember all the polls. He Biden up 10 points, 11 points, 13 points. It's going to be a blue wave. Whether it's Buffalo, whether it's the Senate, they're going to take the Senate. We're going to have everything. You know what I'm saying? What happened to all that? You know what I'm saying? And those folks had a plan. Let them think that on election day, they showed up in enormous numbers. So we as a community got to make sure that we're mobilized to protect our interests because they're mobilized to protect their interests. And when I say mobilized to protect our interests, I am making it clear that I think we got to be having a conversation in real terms. First of all, you got to defend yourself. You can't let people think that in any kind of way they coming up in your space in any kind of way doing anything other than respecting you and you respecting them. And so we got to understand that at the start of the conversation is respect. You know what I'm saying? Then let's listen to what we're going to do. Listen to how we have a conversation to advance everybody. He said, because that's the good thing about what's going on. Like I said, I don't think it's a divided country. I think it's a balanced country. Now the people, we know how people really feel. White people want to protect white privilege. They want to protect white interests. They want to keep the power that they've acquired over them years. But they can't do it on the backs of black folks. Black folks have stood up and said, no, you can't, you're not going to do that on our back. So now what's the conversation? Where the conversation go from here? How do we have some racial equity? Because if your superiority is the basis of your power, that is not going to live. So since that ain't going to be the basis of it, let's talk about if we can live together, how we going to live together, because we ain't about to be anything less than equal. That's right. That's right.
Okay, you got some resistance.
That's right.
That's like what you're doing. You're a thug now.
You a whole generation of resistance. That's the beauty of these young millennials and their ability to use their platform, like no generation has ever used their platform. And make it crystal clear that, it's just not going to happen that way. But the point becomes, how do we move forward? You know what other point I want to talk about real quickly? Kanye West got over 50,000 votes, y'all. What was that about? What was that about? And matter of fact, I thought was most interesting about it, in almost every state when they had third-party candidates, he beat the third party. He got more votes than the Green Party. He got more votes than the independent party, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what is that about?
Don't ask me. I have no clue what that's about. I just have no clue what that's about. I respect Kanye as a musician. I think he's a musical genius. But voting for him to be president of this country, absolutely not. Just absolutely not. But I respect people going out to use their vote. At least they voted. I'll say that much.
Well, let's just hope that ain't the difference in the election. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's really the issue, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, remember they had the issue with the gorilla who got a bunch of them votes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But listen,
Yeah,
so that's really what it came down to, everybody. We get close to the end of our show. There's a couple things I want to just say as we end our conversation. One, I want to remind everybody, this Tuesday, District Parent Coordinating Council meeting is going to take place 6 o'clock. It's going to be, you can go to the Buffalo DPCC Facebook page, and you'll get the link to be able to get onto the show, onto the meeting. It is a virtual meeting, so you can come on. WebEx is not Zoom, it's WebEx, but the link will be there. You can connect. So please do that. The second thing is, everybody, we are doing our membership drive for We the Parents. We're asking everybody who's the parent of a child to join We the Parents. We the Parents is a parent organization representing the interests of all parents. You know what I'm saying? Public school, private school, charter school, homeschool. We are saying that parents must be unified in our effort to protect our interests. And so, if you want to join We the Parents, you can first of all, you can, if you put your email address into the Facebook page. That's one way we can get you the link directly. You can call us at 332-3773, 332-3773. You can go to caowny.org, we-the-parents. Or just put We the Parents, into your search, and the CAO We the Parents in your search, and then it should come up on the page. And we will send you the link. I'm saying all those are ways that you can get in, we can become a member, start the process of becoming a member of the We the Parents. I'm saying the next meeting of We the Parents will be on Tuesday, November 17th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, November 17th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Hopefully next week when we on here, we'll be talking about hopefully next week, that's my sign. That's almost my time up, everybody. But hopefully next week when we come here, we're going to be talking about our new president. And so we got an issue that we need to deal with in terms of the sports. But, if we have our new president, we're going to have that conversation. Other than that, we're going to be talking about some education stuff. So listen, everybody, anything you want to say in closing, Emmanuel? Listen, thank you for joining us for another week of We the Parents. As we say every week before we sign off, power to the parents. What are you talking about?